So there's a comment.
Rabbi, is it allowed to teach Judaism to Christians? By Avi Akeva. Is it kosher to teach Christians Judaism? I am a Jew, and my family and my mom's pastor asked me questions all the time about Judaism. I was wondering if this is allowed.
I think the reason he's asking is because in the Talmud it says that it's not, that a Gentile should just preoccupied with his Torah, which the rabbis limit to 7 laws. But that's not how the Rambam interprets that. Now, the Rambam is the great codifier. Put the Talmud, he put the oral law in layman's terms. He says that the notion that a Gentile can't study Torah, that's really only when he's studying it to create a separate religion. And we spoke about this in the show maybe a couple months ago, that he either has to be content and satisfied with 7 laws or go all the way, i.e. full Judaism. So if a Gentile is learning Torah like a Jew is learning Torah, then it's not an issue. That means he's learning Torah to get closer to God, to enter the covenant, to convert, then it's not an issue. But if someone just learns it in spite, then it is an issue. So technically, it's not correct for a Noahide to study Torah like a Jew studies Torah.
We don't really know exactly how the setup is. And they have a Christian, pastor or whatever, walks up to them. It says in John verse 1:1, What would be necessarily wrong with counterpointing their position? I guess it's not necessarily teaching Torah, teaching Judaism, but it would be discussing the question or the issue that is at hand. No, I mean,
how the Rambam brings it down is if you're going to tell anything to a Gentile, you either tell him to keep 7 laws or go all the way, i.e. full Judaism. If you just tell a Gentile to keep 7 laws alone, that's not going to be enough to get them away from Christianity. Try to convert the Gentile to Judaism. That's the only way to get around this statement. I'm not even going to call it a halakha, that you can't teach Torah to a Gentile. That means he either has to pick between the 7 laws in Judaism.
Oh.
So
I get what you're saying.
It's like you say, like, go Torah or go home. But this is exactly what the Rambam's saying. Gentiles only have the option to keep 7 laws as they were given to them. That means not embellishing them and saying, oh, well, there's 7 categories of laws and there's hundreds of laws, and this because of the prohibition of Gentiles creating a new religion for themselves. If that's going to be your approach, share Torah with them to get them away from Christianity, is to get them to convert completely. All right? Because there's no in the middle. There's either plain 7 laws or all Torah. There isn't this morphed quasi belief system called Ger Toshav that Jews are tossing at the Gentiles so he doesn't convert.
I like that. I dig that. Maimonides is my man. I love Maimonides, man. He's a Jews Judaism.org type of guy. You know what I mean, Ralph?
He even writes in the Teshuvah, and this is a famous one, you guys can look it up, that it's mutter. He says it's permitted to teach Torah to Christians, but then he brings down that one shouldn't do it with Muslims because you're not going to convince them and they're just going to use it against you. So this statement reiterates what he says in Mishnah Torah, but this is something all the guys who claim to push the Noahide law claim to be experts in the Rambam, but for some reason they all have this erroneous notion that the Rambam is endorsing some quasi-Jewish movement where a Gentile keeps everything but doesn't convert. Now, it's true, the Rambam says that if someone even decides to circumcise himself, waits more than 12 months, that he's considered a heretic amongst the nations. That we don't want people who are going to be half-assed in Noahidism, that if you're going to be a non-Jew, then stick with the 7 dry laws, heck, that we expect more from Muslims and Christians out of. But if you want a serious relationship with God, just convert to Judaism and stop playing around.
Amen.